warning before you listen. This epic is not for children, nor for the faint of heart. We retell the ancient Greek myths as they were born, unfiltered, unsoftened. Scenes of violence, curses, betrayals, and a hunger for power that shows no mercy. Given the many conflicting versions of the Titan War, the events have been rebuilt to complete the missing pieces. Here, we tell the myth as it was meant to be told. Sources and references are listed in the episode description.
Chapter 25. From War of the Titans, Clash of Weapons and the Fall of Time. Ashen whispers, the doubt that shook thunder. When a god breaks on the inside, and no one sees. There was no farewell on the mountain, no greeting on the road. Zeus returned. Ash clung to his shoulder. The thunderbolt rested in his hand, silent, as if it no longer recognized its wielder. The path back to Olympus wasn't long, but each step felt like it pressed against his chest. Every stone he passed whispered, "Why didn't you win?" Every breeze across his face reminded him of that first bolt, the one born without a dawn. A deep silence pressed on his chest, until a voice stirred from within, a voice that sounded like the sky inside him asking, "Am I weak? Was the weapon not what I was promised? Or am I simply not the one worthy of lightning?" He looked at his palm. The thunderbolt was still there, but it did not shine. He whispered to it, "Speak. Burn. Ignite." It said nothing, as if punishing him. Not for failure, but for the hesitation in his grip. He reached the outer edge of the camp. No one asked where he had been. No voices cried, "The leader returns." Only silence. A silence that felt like a slab hidden in the chest of a man who came back with no victory. Hestia saw him, but didn't approach. She lit a small flame and lowered her gaze. Poseidon clenched his fist as if wishing he had been the one to face Hyperion instead. Hades turned his face away, not out of contempt, but because he couldn't bear to watch ghosts crumble. Only Demeter walked toward him. She placed a hand on his shoulder and said, "You're alive. That's enough for now." But Zeus didn't answer. He walked to his tent, and as soon as he entered, he pulled the curtain closed, hard. Then he screamed. Not a cry of pain, but a roar of thunder whipped from within. The voice of time collapsing beneath the weight of a single word. Why? Elsewhere, on Mount Othrys, Hyperion arrived. Soldiers cleared from his path. The mountains recoiled from his heat. Even night gave him space. Cronus sat upon a throne that had forgotten how to smile. He spoke in a voice as quiet and sharp as a sickle. "Why didn't you finish him?" Hyperion did not meet his eyes. He answered, "Because you don't reap a seed before knowing what it will grow into." Cronus was silent, then asked, "Did you pity him?" Hyperion unwrapped the fire from his hand and said, "I pitied the world, if it were to break him before he was even born." Then he walked away without waiting for permission, because he knew Zeus was not just an opponent, he was an idea, one that would grow, and if not understood now, would one day set fire to everything that believed itself beyond thunder. And that night, in his gray tent, Zeus sat on the floor. No throne, no glory, just him, staring at the thunderbolt in his hand. He whispered, "It's not your fault, lightning. It's my hand. It hasn't yet learned how to wound." Then he closed his eyes, and between his fingers, a flicker was born. A small flicker, as if the thunderbolt had begun to remember who it was. This chapter of the epic has come to an end, but remember, what you've just heard is not a record of facts, but the echo of a myth, a story born from the imagination of the ancients, etched into the long memory of humankind. If this tale stirred something in you, if it opened a door to reflection or wonder, don't forget to support the channel and share the journey with those you love. And in the comments, tell us, which moment in this chapter struck you the most and why? We'll meet again in the next chapter of this audio odyssey through time. Until then, farewell.